Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 6 of Swords. This is the divine blueprint, right? This is the plan. This is finally seeing some kind of organization in all the chaos in the background there. We found harmony. This is you being in harmony with the process of change on the intellectual plane. In other words, I feel like you're getting a plan together for something. Yeah. Or you have a plan together for something. And this is your energy. I think you're a very organized person. I think you like to have a plan before you move forward. You like to kind of, you like to make sure you're prepared. And not just mentally, but physically too. You got the tools that you need. You like to have a good idea of what to expect. I think when you travel, you like to have a map with you. Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Maybe we'll see something that says we're getting rid of the plan, right? Well, we got a 5 of Wands. You've got the Hermit energy. You've got the Magician, a Hanged Man, and a Knight of Wands. Fire on fire here. Very strong energy. You got the Fool. You have a 3 of Cups. You've got the terrain. You've got the whole vast infinite universe, and you have a Queen of Swords at the very end there. Interesting, because I feel like this isn't so much about you needing a plan. I feel like maybe if you're the Fool over here, you don't really want a plan. You don't like having a plan. I'm very interested in lately the Fool and the Magician together, because this feels like this is what the tarot is all about. Going from the Fool to the Magician, right? Going from nobody to a somebody, a 0 to a 1, right? Starting the journey and becoming the adept, becoming the master, becoming the architect of our own lives. Yeah. But the way that you've got the cards here today, going from the Magician and then over here to the Fool, I wonder if you're kind of if maybe you're going back to basics. I wonder if you are kind of scrapping the plan and saying, I'm going to start over. I'm going to start it again. Not because anything went wrong, but because you, I don't know. I mean, is this a compulsion for you? Maybe there's this kind of energy or this tendency or this habit to build something up, to get something very organized, and then maybe when there's one little flaw, you know, we say, I got to do it all over again. You know, I used to do this bullet journaling stuff. I used to I'd buy a brand new lined journal, right? And I would get my ruler and I'd get my pencils out and I'd draw all the little boxes and charts and graphs and all this kind of stuff. And then I'd trace it over with a pen, permanent pen, you know. And if I made a little error, if I made a little extra line somewhere, I'd kind of stress out. I'd want to just throw the journal away and start over again. You know, I had that. And so it was kind of a perfectionist kind of energy. And it was a lot of planning and structuring, a lot of drawing the little lines and making all the little charts and graphs and all the different spreads and things like this. Not a lot of journaling went on, right? And now, back to basics. Now, I just have a journal, I have a pen, and I write. Maybe I'll put the date on there, but then I just write. So it could be that we're sort of realizing that here. That could be what's going on. That could be why we've got the fiery Five of Wands, the fighting energy on top of this plan, and we've got this idea of the magician sort of becoming the fool again. Maybe we realize that we've been too reliant on the map, and that having the map or worrying about the map has been preventing us from really just going after it, just doing it, just getting it. This is fire. So we kind of have the mercurial energy here. This is Mercury magician. This is Mercury in Aquarius. We're trying to find the plan. We're trying to make the plan. We're trying to get the map, get everything organized and prepare and do all this kind of stuff. It's very cerebral here. Very, very intellectual, very left brain, very, very kind of planning phases, right? But then we have the fire energy as sort of it's an overlapping contrast. It's kind of saying that this need to plan and plan and plan is now giving way to this need to act and act and act. I don't think you're scrapping the plan, but I think that you are realizing that it's time to put the plan in action, and the fool is not undoing the magician, but the fool is kind of saying, okay, I've done all the preparation I could. I've planned, I planned. Now it's time for me to write. It's time for me to do it. It's time for action. It's time for me to just leap in and figure it out. It's like we're training. We're training. Training is not the thing. I was an EMT for a brief period of time, and I remember going through the EMT training, the school, I loved it. Just the tests, the bookworks, the quizzes, the scenarios, the lab stuff that we would do. It was so much fun. I loved it so much. And I wish I could probably just stay in the classroom the whole time. But then eventually you graduate, you take the test, you get your license, you're out in the field. And it's kind of like everything that you learned is still there, but you're not trying to see your reality overlaid or augmented with all of your training. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to fit. There's going to be an incongruence there. And so I think that's kind of what this is about with the air energy here. Sorry about my camera work. I don't know what's going on with it today. I think that's the overlay here between the planning of these and then the acting of these, and as well as the just the sort of contrast between the skill and just the talent, right? Thinking about doing it, planning it, and training for it, and understanding how we need to be fluid and we need to be elastic and adaptable to every situation, every possible scenario. You could train for every single thing that you can think of. But when you get out into the field, it's kind of like you're just a babe. You're just this naive, innocent, you're green, don't know what's going on, right? A complete fool. And I think that this is the right attitude. Otherwise, we go into a situation where we think, well, I already know what to do. I've gone through EMT school. I've read the whole textbook. I've memorized the entire thing. Yeah, but you got to accept that I'm going into it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm here to learn, right? So I feel that this is really, it's kind of a humbleness in a way. Yeah. Anyway, let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're going to set it down right here with Bubo, our mechanical owl, right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together and give us our confirmation. If you have a prediction for that card, put it in the comments down below. Okay. Let's look around the room. We do have quite a bit of major arcana, don't we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana energies. I feel like this is kind of something new, and you're ready for this journey. You're starting something new. I think that you are you're ready to answer the call to adventure. You're starting to live your journey now. All the planning, all the preparation, all of the skills that you've learned, all of the knowledge, all the research that you've done has been preparation for this moment. Okay? And I think it's important that even if we don't really see that in life, that we think about it. Everything you've ever done, every experience you've ever had, every book you've ever read, every person you've ever met, every problem you've ever had, every emotion you've ever felt, is all coming to bear in this really paradoxical way, is all coming to bear on this moment where you're moving forward into something new. And I'll tell you, when I did, before I did tarot here on YouTube, I didn't read for a lot of other people. I didn't have any kind of public life. I didn't have any kind of performance training or any kind of history in any kind of performance. Really, I play the drums, but never professionally or anything. I don't have any kind of acting experience or voice experience or camera experience at all. But everything that I've ever done in life has sort of in some way contributed to that moment where I, like a fool, said, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, right? And then I realized my 20 years of reading tarot, it's coming to bear. The one time that I was a sound guy on a movie, independent film in Berkeley for like a day, I did the sound engineering stuff, right? So I had to learn how to do the audio. That's somehow coming to bear in this endeavor, right? And every relationship, every problem I've ever faced, everything that I've ever been through in my life is coming to bear on this. And this is a journey where we go into it, and we have to realize that I don't know what I'm doing. I have this entire history behind me that's going to come to bear at some point, but we're not going into it like we know everything already, right? And that's the Fool energy. This is very, very good. I think that your energy is spectacular right now. You've got the Hanged Man and the Hermit showing this kind of humility, this willingness to sort of pay your dues, a willingness to sacrifice, a willingness to say, I'll do the dirty work, I'll do whatever I need to do as sort of the new person. Maybe you're starting a new job, maybe it's a new career, maybe it's your own YouTube channel. It's kind of this humility that says, you know what, I'm willing to learn and grow, and I'm willing to make the mistakes. I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to make this work. So I like this energy. The Fool is kind of out in the universe here, and it kind of it's a little bit daunting. This is the card in the position of your obstacle, the fear. It's just that vast loneliness. It's kind of like now you're thrown out into the vast universe, and you're saying, and Spirit's kind of saying, here, find your way. It's like when you leave university, and it's almost like the university just sort of heaves you out the door, and you're just like, now what? Now I have this infinitely large, vast life that I have to somehow manage. And it can be daunting. It can feel like a lonely experience. It can feel, first off, that the universe is kind of a hostile place, right? I don't think it does for you because of this 3 of Cups in your environment. Yeah. So we got fire here. We got a little bit of water. We have our air and our air. We don't have any overt earth energy. This is some earth. This is some earth. This is the world or the universe. This is the Hermit. It's Virgo. It's an earth energy, right? But we have a lot of the air ideas here. We have the sort of the mind of Mercury. We've got the plan or the blueprint. We've got the empty mind of the Fool. This is kind of a Zen or a Taoist kind of card. It's kind of an unlearning. It's kind of we're going back to our original state. And of course, we have the perspective of the Queen of Swords there. Yeah. But what is the 5 of Wands? Well, this is fight. I like to say that this is the card of striving. This is you deciding that you're going to go out into the world and you're going to reach for what you want. And we're not just going to be passive and just going to let whatever happens happen. So then it's kind of like, without the fire energy, it's just like, okay, I got this idea of what I want in life. I got sort of a plan for life, but I'm just going to sit around and just let the world mold me. I'm going to let the world change me into something. So what good is having a plan, right? If we're just going to sort of cross our fingers and hope that the world does us right. No, you've got to take action. You've got to take the initiative. You've got to be willing to fight and strive for the life that you want. If this is a new career, if this is a new journey, if this is some sort of traveling thing for you, if this is whatever path you're on now, Yeah. I feel like you're transitioning from the planning phase to the acting phase. And we've got that 5 of Wands. You're striving for what you want. You're putting your will out into the world. And so it's a card of fighting. That's what the card really is. It's fight. What are you willing to fight for? You have this plan. You believe in something. You've sort of organized it in your mind. Go fight for it. Or I like to say, strive. Strive for it. We're not yielding to the will of the world. We're not saying, okay, I can't do it, I won't do it. The universe is saying, it's too hard for you, or your own mind is having doubts. No, I'm doing it. I believe that I can do it. I sort of have a general idea of what it is I'm doing and how to do it. Now I'm going to go do it. Well, the first thing we got to do then is throw everything out the window. We got to become that pure fool. Because the pure fool is kind of saying like, I don't have any worries. The fool is saying, I don't have any expectations. There's a freedom here, right? Because we're not filled with any kind of doubts. It's almost like the fool is so naive that it does not know the severity of the situation. It's kind of like you're just kind of walking la 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 into a very dangerous situation. It's like that's a foolish thing to do. We have to be that a little bit. Otherwise that fear is going to get to us. Otherwise we're not going to do it. We're going to overthink. We're going to say, well, I need to keep working on the plan. I'm not ready to take action yet because I need to work on this a little bit more still. So by sort of closing our eyes and forgetting how scared we are, we just sort of do it. We're just leaping in. It's like you got this stage fright. Well, we're not just going to stand there and think about it and get nervous and start getting the jitters and stuff. No, we're just going to like close our eyes, hum a tune, and walk out there. Like a fool would do. Because a fool is someone that does not know the implications of what they're doing, right? That's one of the shadow sides of the fool. The fool will just wander into any old trap or snare. Any old, challenge, and will sometimes come out okay, sometimes not. The fool has no knowledge of anything, jumps into the pool, doesn't know if they can swim or not. They don't know what swimming is. They don't know what water is. They just jump into the pool. Well, hopefully you swim, right? So we need a little bit of that. A little bit of that freedom. That just says, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm going to do it. It's like you're going to go skydiving. Don't think about it too much. You kind of just somehow you find your way. You're up in the plane. You're strapped to someone's chest or whatever. You're doing a tandem jump, and then suddenly you're jumping out of a plane. I don't know how I got here because I tried not to think about it too much. Because if I think about it, I ain't going to do it. That's why I have never skydived before. I think about it too much, and I'll never do it. Well, I guess never say never, right, with that fool. So the hermit underneath everything is, I think that you're generally a solitary person. I think, or you have been anyway. I think maybe you have a really strong kind of social interest. I think you enjoy the company of other people, but this seems like a lot of time was spent learning this, developing this, figuring this out. Yeah, formulating the plan. Maybe you've been working on something for a long time, planning it, thinking it, getting it ready, so to speak. Because I feel that there was a time of intense introspection. We kind of have these now. Let's say these are together, and now let's put these together. This is a period of sequestering yourself to really figure out what it is that you want to do and how you're going to do it, getting the resources ready perhaps, training for it. Maybe this was a university or a college course or a trade school. This could be a class you took or a skill that you learned. Right? Learning how to formulate your desire, your plan for life. You were spending time finding order in the chaos. And that's kind of the hermit. And I think the hermit's ready to kind of get out into the world and start enjoying life. I think maybe this was, Maybe this was a couple years at university, right? And now it's giving way to this fiery energy and the Hanged Man up top. We know that we're going to have to suffer for this. We know that we're going to, we know that we're turning things around. We know that we have to go from what has become a comfortable, introspective classroom scenario now is going to have to be, we're leaping into the unknown, you know? So things are really, I think, complete 180 for you right now. And the Hanged Man is very aware that this isn't going to be easy. This is going to be tough. I'm going to suffer. There's going to be pain involved. There's going to be fear. It's going to be hardship. This is something for which we know that we must and we are willing to suffer for the sake of what we're doing here, what you're creating or what this path is that you're on. Okay. And I think that the Hanged Man is diving in, knowing full well that it's going to be a challenge. Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. But what we see with this fiery Aries Knight of Wands energy is sort of an impulsive energy. It's an energy that says, I'm mobilizing my energy. I'm done thinking about it. I'm ready to do it. And I don't know what this is. Maybe it's a business. Maybe it's just a new path. Maybe it's a new relationship. Maybe you're getting out of something. I don't know. But this is kind of saying, I'm done thinking about it. I'm done talking about it. I'm done tinkering with the plan. It's time to execute the plan. That's what Spirit is saying. You've been working on it, planning it. It's time to do it. Okay? There is something you write or something. You either do short stories, prose, or poetry or something. But you're a writer, is what I'm sensing. And I think you're a very picky eater, right? Anyway, mobilizing the energy. That's the name of the game right now. Okay, it's time to make that transition from planning to executing. Now, we're going to talk more about the path of the serpent, and as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Yeah. General energy is the Fool. The general energy, I think, as you mobilize your energy, as you mobilize this activity, you start to execute the plan, you realize the map is not helping me. The textbook, nothing like the reality. You're happy that you have the training, but you can't sit there when you're doing, let's say you're playing the drums or something, right? You can't sit there and try to think about and remember all of the different techniques and the training and every little thing and how the notes are and all the rudiments are. And you can't really intellectualize it. You kind of have to let go. You let go of the thoughts. You're not trying to overlay your training onto the reality. It's not a augmented reality kind of thing. You got to let go of all that training, all the thought. This is the art of no mind. This is the art of no mind. All that training and all that practice and all the drills and all the rudiments are still there in you, but they're flowing through you. And I wonder now if my whole thing about, the Fool is how we enter the world, and it's our job as spiritual beings to realize that we are the magician. Maybe then from the magician, we have to go back to being the Fool. Maybe it does come full circle. And we're back to the Fool now. That's kind of like the journey of the tarot, right? The Fool goes all the way through the cards and sort of circles back to himself. And in other words, we're not fundamentally changed. We're discovering who we've always been all along. Okay? And so it's not that suddenly we're the magician, right? And we're just, look at me, I'm a magician. That we're still who we are. Right? Deemed not of change, but maybe of a revelation of our true nature. So the Fool is still the Fool, but kind of different. The same, but different, Anyway. Realizing that as we do this work, I cannot be stuck in my mind intellectualizing the knowledge and trying to recall certain things. No, it's just kind of you gotta act and react and respond and adapt to whatever your scenario. whatever the work is. If you're swimming, if you're in healthcare, EMT, yeah, all that knowledge is there. And maybe you're going to have to spend a minute to think about what the calculations are or whatever. But in those moments of activity, especially if you're in some kind of emergency response or you're working the ER or something like this, you don't have time to sit there and intellectualize it. It's just a sort of a spontaneous action. It's muscle memory. You've done enough training that you can trust yourself to sort of be spontaneous and just act in the moment in the proper way. And that's the difference between the fool and the fool. The fool and the magician fool. Because the fool will act in any situation like an idiot, right? Like they don't know anything and probably make a lot of mistakes. But then you go through the training and you get right back into that situation, and then you're still acting spontaneously, but you're doing the right thing instead of probably the wrong thing. Does that make sense? Anyway, the next card in your environment is the Three of Cups. I think that what this is saying is that you're very responsive to the needs of other people right now. And so I think that you are helping or healing others in some way. That whatever you're doing is meant to connect with others. You're sort of putting yourself out there. And maybe you are a healer. Maybe you do either physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual healing. Maybe you do acupuncture or massage therapy or Reiki or crystal healing or anything like this. Maybe you're a psychologist or a therapist or an analyst. I think analyst maybe would be, I think whatever you're doing, it took a lot of training. It took a lot of education or a lot of practice, right? And maybe even the training and the practice wasn't formalized. Like I said with my, I graduated high school. I took a few college courses. I never got a degree in college. All my training and experience was sort of just happened over time organically. It wasn't like an official, I went to school and studied something. You know what I'm saying? But I think that the work that you're doing makes you very aware of what other people's needs are. I feel like there's a communication happening in your life on the emotional plane. And maybe this is, maybe you're an empath. Yeah, I think that I'm feeling like you are. And I think that this is really where your focus is. This is where your heart lies, in helping and healing other people. Okay? Whether this is physically or spiritually or mentally, emotionally. And the idea with the hermit too is that the hermit is ready to start engaging with the world. Maybe this was you're in EMT school, and now this is you out in the field being the EMT. You're ready to go out and have an influence, to be effective, to make a difference. The hermit is turning around and going out into the world, in the environment, in terms of your relationships, and is trying to improve the world and improve those relationships and heal those relationships. Because the fool or the hermit in the classroom, right, is sort of that disengaged from the world. You want to get out there and really do it. You want to get out there in the field, even though the field is this infinite universe, right? The world card as the obstacle, because this is it's kind of overwhelming. It's a big, big play. It kind of gives us a little bit of that agoraphobia, right? Wide open spaces. It's like, holy crap, this is real now. I'm out here and no one's holding my hand, right? But what you're trying to do, what the fool is trying to do, is have a relationship with the world that is based on love and appreciation, gratitude, respect, a bond, a deep emotional bond. So I feel like you're trying to, in some way, the fool is trying to heal the world. You're having a relationship with the universe that is based on love and affection and healing. So to you, the universe can be a warm and loving and supportive place. And it's your work, I believe, to contribute to that. You're giving your gift to the world. You're helping the world become a more warm and loving and supportive place, because the world is hostile, cold, vast, lonely. You're trying to correct that a little bit. through your work. Whatever your work is. Whether it's directly hands-on or whether it's through the writing that you do or whatever, right? Now, the Queen of Swords at the end there, that's perspective. I think that's really kind of your ability to look at the bigger picture of life. You're looking at the larger implications of what you're doing. Yeah, it may be a struggle right now. You're getting stuff going. You're sort of immersed in the fire here. But you're able to look at your journey, and you're kind of looking down the path here. You're looking at the Fool, adding love and healing to a cold and vast universe. And that's your recognition in this bigger picture, simple words, right? This is what you're doing in life. And so this is you able to look at these cards right here and think, this is me in the fire. This is my personal worry, but this is the bigger picture. The Fool bringing more healing to the cold and lonely and hostile world. And you're recognizing that as your sort of big picture purpose. Yeah. It's a very simple quest. It's complicated in practice, but putting it in very few words, the Fool, healing the world. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe you're maybe some work with children or something. I don't know what it is that you do exactly. Maybe you're writing children's books or I don't know. It could be all sorts of things. But you're getting this perspective, and I think it's important that you're able to do this. Get your head out of the fire, get your head out of your head, and get your head out of the fire. And just look at your life and look at what you're doing and put it into that very simple term. If that resonates with you, the Fool healing the world, that sort of thing. But look at it in that very simplified but very abstract and objective way. Because all the details here, that's what you're going to dive back into this. But Spirit's saying, get a good simplified view of your bigger picture, your bigger purpose. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card. I want to see more healing. I want to see more water energy. I want to see maybe a 6 of Cups. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments down below. Well, it's a 9 of Wands. This is your resilience. This is your ability to, when we think of the classroom stuff, that's training. That's learning. It's the schools, the classrooms, the lab stuff. But out in the real world, that's when you're really tested. That's when you are really fortified. That's when you really get your training, right? The school of hard knocks kind of thing. But this is what creates in you the strength. So this is the Fool with all the training going through this journey, and this is the experience that you get. It fortifies you. It's that experience. It's someone who's fresh out of college and they're EMT and there they are. Well, I guess I did go to EMT school, so that's something I did. I did graduate that, but that was like 1 semester. Anyway, I don't have a degree. That's my point. But being the first, you're the new person in town, right? You just started. It's your first day. You're wet behind the ears still. Life or the job or the ER or the whatever, right? The world is going to beat you up. That experience is going to fortify you as you move forward. And I think this is a reminder of that this is the training, the real training begins, that kind of energy. Yeah. I'm very excited for what you're doing. I think it's going to be really a wonderful journey for you. And I think it's going to be very rewarding. It's going to be very challenging, but it is worth it. Yeah. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Libra Wednesday and Saturday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.